Hello and welcome back to Lineview Railway Cottage for this video, which is for April 2022. So the main task for this month was starting on the shed for the backyard. So Ronica was there to help out a lot with that. She also brought some beautiful stakes, which was really appreciated. We started the shed by marking out the plot of land that we wanted to work with and digging out a trench around the outside. And Pixie, Ronica's dog, was very helpful in the digging of that trench as well. We filled in the trench then with gravel, and the idea with this basically is that for any water that comes down along the ground when it rains, instead of it going underneath the shed or rising up there, hopefully it will be caught by the drainage ditch and flow around the outside. We levelled out the ground and raked it out as well. But underneath the ground we found quite a few things, including a lot of slates that were buried there. So we dug them up, and we decided that the best thing to do with them would be to reinstate them within the build. So we laid them out flat and neat across the floor plan of the shed. So this will serve two functions. It will help stop nettles and weeds growing up from the ground, but also will keep a bit of water out as well if any comes up. On top of that, then we laid out some more cover that will stop weeds growing up, and then on top of that again we added some plastic, so that will be sort of the moisture barrier to stop water rising up from the ground. So the shed is 3 pallets wide and 2 pallets deep, so that means that it's about 3 meters deep and nearly 4 meters across on the front. So we tacked up the edges of the plastic to stop water coming in on the side as well, because with the climate that we have, water's probably going to be the thing that kills this shed eventually, so the longer we can have it survive, the better. So we also had an extra bit of plastic that we used to cover it when we were going in overnight. For the frame of the shed, we did consider buying machined wood, but we decided instead to use this tree from the backyard, because as well as just it feeling right to be using the materials that we had on hand, and it fits more with the ethos of how we're going about things here in the cottage. Just quite a lot cheaper as well. I'm sure it will give us many challenges as we go along, not having the straight lines and such, but also the process is much more important, I think, than the final product here, with the different the different things we're doing within the house.
Yeah, you can't go for something, definitely.
That's okay, this.
So the next day was pretty wet, so I had to put a coat over my camera so you can see the hood sticking out on the top left corner there. So Ronica got to preparing the branches, and then I started digging the holes where the posts will go in at the corner of the shed. We kept on these posts, we tried to keep the Y shape if we had any Y joins at the top, because they'll be very good for placing weight on. They'll be a lot stronger than if we cut those off and just were trying to screw things in. So we're really sort of working this out as we go along, step by step, but the great discovery that we made is this product called Post 10, which is basically ready mix concrete, but it doesn't even need sand added. It just goes in directly in with water. So you just fill the hole with water, and then you shake in about half a bag of this cement, and then it solidifies and holds the posts in place.
Yeah.
So I don't really want to know what this stuff is made of, but it only takes 10 minutes to secure, so it's very handy for a project like this.
Let's see how we go.
Another little project is a compost heap that we'll start, so that will be nice to have as we get a bit more sustainable and self-sustainable within the house. This will just be 4 posts put in the ground and then pallet slats used. We had a lot of visitors over this weekend, including this dog who appeared in the morning. I think Pixie felt a bit left out now that there were 2 dogs on the land, but we eventually found the owner and were able to return Rusty. So one of the main projects that we had, or one of the main tasks really over the weekend, was taking apart pallets to be used in the walls of the shed. So everyone was sort of put to work trying to find the best ways of taking these pallets apart and getting the nails out. We got a bit better as the weekend went on, and I think we found a really good method which you will see at the end of the video. But there was a lot of bashing and swearing and then occasional yells of triumph whenever a pallet properly came apart. But it was lovely to have a good bit of energy around the house and loads of people working together to work out how to get things done. Because we are very much at the start of whatever this all becomes. We're really just sort of working it out as we go with, to be honest, very little experience. But here's something we've just started as well. One of the first bits of growing food on the land. So we have a bin that we'll grow potatoes in, and it's just potatoes and soil, and it will be left out. And then in a couple of months we should be able to turn the bin upside down and hopefully a lot of new potatoes will fall out. So we'll see how that goes, and keep an eye out for updates there in about 3 months or so. We had some nettle tea and some music, which was also very helpful to keep us all energized. And the nettles left over were the first sort of offering to the compost heap. So Alan came over as well and was very helpful because he did a lot of work on getting the compost heap together.
I was going to give you encouragement,
Support
but
retracted.
You don't deserve
He was also very helpful because he was the tallest of us, so he was able to get the first crossbeam up for the shed.
I would say ice pop, I gotta say.
But it has ice cream in it. Oh my god.
So the front of the shed is about 2.4 meters tall and the back is about 2 meters tall. So there's a lot of headroom to work with, and we'll be able to hang a lot of things from the roof and stuff as well. The shed will need more framing to hold everything up, and then we'll be using the pallets to make, we'll be hanging the slats from the pallets down vertically from the frame to make up the body of the wall. We'll also be using more plastic as well to act as a moisture barrier.
What's your name? Roshi. Yeah, it's like a terrible French name. It's like,
Is your accent from the area?
I'm here, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Your accent's really nice.
Oh, thank you. Most people here say, where'd you come from? No, you don't. No, you don't. I'm like, yeah, I do.
It sounds like you've been you've traveled a bit.
We had a good few
No,
people around for this day. So Uliana was helping us out by cutting out a notch in one of the branches so it will sit better on the roof.
Yeah, so I just moved back home. And I don't know where I am. Where am I there?
Right?
Multi-park. Well, this place is called Donaldson.
And then the other people around were Roisin, Sinead and Kaylee, and then also my uncle Joseph and my mum and my sister.
I'm a cat.
So my sister got to sort of levelling out the floor of the shed, and then my mum was helping out with some other bits that you'll see in a few minutes.
Oh, right. I'm already putting to work.
Well, that's what they say. The arm's already got really in.
Good food is always important for these kind of things.
Well, I work in the arts. Film would be my leg.
So this was the bedroom, back inside again. We got rid of the small little patch of carpet that was there and put down a much larger piece, which we managed to get for €15, so it's a good deal. Doesn't quite fill the room though. The space on the left side has cabinets and storage there, so it's not as visible, but it is still a good improvement. Another purchase that was made, now this time for the shed again, was a nice big window to go at the front. Now it is double glazed, so it is quite heavy. It took 4 of us to carry into the backyard. Also, because it's quite heavy, we'll need to make sure that the framing around it is quite strong. But we'll get to that in a future video. So here is the method we found for taking apart pallets. So all you need is 2 people and 2 long levers, and you can take a pallet apart in about 5 to 10 minutes. I'm sure you could get it even quicker with a bit more practice.
Yeah, it seems like there's more in it.
That's pretty much up.
So this is how the shed looks currently. We just have the edges up, we have the floor mostly sorted, but the next steps will be getting a roof on and the walls as well. So thank you to everyone that came to visit over the month, and see you next time.